one of the reasons why you may not should speak is because your emotions may not even allow you to have a good response back or have something good to say that you even would agree later on with because of how much your emotions can be doing something. A thing is, later is not avoiding, it's deferring. I do want to say that as important and very important part. Choosing to speak later is not avoiding the situation, it is deferring it.
I've been going through some things, so much on my brain, just hoping it would change. I've been going
what it is, y'all. Hey, you already know, man, you're back rocking with your boy Ayo, so that means we finna get into some real shit. That means we gonna do what we supposed to do when we in this bitch. Man, I be trying not to cuss in the beginning. I did not mean to do it just then, but it's all good, it's all love. All right, look, so first thing we're gonna do, y'all already know when we get up in here, we do a quick little temperature check. You know what I mean? See what it's hitting for. So, for the temperature check today, I want to just hit back like we always do, starting off with last week episode, giving a little quick recap. Last week, we talked about the way information is received, which was like a double up from the way the vessel of information, following up to the way information is delivered, to the way information is received. I hope y'all rock with it, you know what I mean? We're still trying to get this out here, still trying to get a vibe, see what y'all enjoying and what y'all rocking with as the viewers and listeners. So, you know what I mean? I feel like that was a good episode, getting a good chance to kind of see both talk about the way, the week before they talking about the way information is delivered, so you know what I mean, the speaker, but also having a focus to the person receiving it. And shout out Killer, you know what I mean, ran it with her, kind of really gave me like a idea, cause before I think I was gonna do them together, but then it was like, hey, you know what I mean, maybe this one like too much information and kind of separating it out. So hey, look, man, whoever you is, always in my life, anybody, I want to like, hey, look, man, you got an idea, or if you somebody who close enough with me and we run it and we talk about my podcast, hey, look, man, or anything I got going on, just know I'm always is. I might not go with what you say, cause shit, hey, I got my own ideas, but if you say some shit I'm rocking with, I'm like, hey, bet for sure, I'm liking it. I'm gonna tap in with it. So yeah, man, the way information received, I feel like was a good topic. This one kind of still going on. Like I want to kind of make sure shit kind of flow a little bit between episodes, but it ain't direct. It's just like a little flow. You know what I mean? So that's the follow up on from last week's episode. What else we got going? Oh man, like I said, the Olympics going on. I've been watching the Olympics, but I ain't been watching the Olympics. Like I ain't finna stand. Like I've been like crazy tapped in, but I know I checked out little shit like the Muffin Man singing Lil Brody. He was doing his shit, bro. Was goddamn going here. I wonder like what he did in the water. Like I seen like him have a post or two kind of talking about the water, but shit, he was going ham with them the chocolate muffins. And they look good, but at the same time, they did look maybe like they might be dry. Like muffins, I don't think muffins supposed to be like juicy, but like, I don't know, the muffins like they could have been a little bit dry, but hey, shit, Brodo goddamn rocking with his shit. He goddamn blew up and his goddamn TikTok star. I be seeing like for a lot of the Olympic sports, them people don't be getting paid like that. So shit, he might fuck around and get more brand deals and money off of doing that right there than he get from any of the shit he do in that water. So man, shout out to the Brody. With some other shit. With some stuff that just happened. You know what I mean? Shout out to Simone Biles. I think got Jordan Childs, Suni Lee. I hate that I'm listing names because then it would be like, you forgot some of the other names. But the women's Olympic gymnasts, I have not seen the men's as much. But it's two other women on there. But them the main ones, and them the ones I done seen win medals. But yo, shout out to them. They doing their thing, won women's gold. So you know what I mean? Shout out USA and all that good stuff. Man, that was super dope. And it was dope. Just happened like Simone, Jordan, and I think Rebecca, her name, the woman from Brazil. You know what I mean? Seeing like that all black podium at the Olympics for the gymnasts on some type of sport. I don't know which event it was, but you know what I mean? They was out there doing their thing. That was dope. They gave them a little hell and, you know what I mean? Hey, doing your thing. So it's all respect to them. So I feel like that's super dope. It was super dope seeing, as well as the team getting the all around team event. You also had the Suni and Simone both medaling on the all around individual. So it was just a great ass thing. Basketball, our teams doing their shit. What else we got going on in them Olympics? Snoop been doing his shit. Snoop gon' Snoop. I seen Lil Brody. I say Lil Brody. Ain't no Lil Brody. That's the OG right there. That's Uncle. Seen Uncle Snoop goddamn getting like 500 bands a day just for popping out there at the Olympics. So get that bag and shit. You see Snoop shit. You see Snoop gonna get to a bag. Snoop gonna get to a motherfucking bag. He gonna be himself, get into a bag. So shout out to Snoop always, man. Really trying to think. I felt like it was something else with the Olympics. Oh shit, track and field just started. Well, not just started, but they've been doing track and field. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shakari. I think it's Shakari. You know what I mean? She wound up finishing silver on the Olympics race. We ain't had no Jamaicans on there at the end for the women's 100 meters. But hey, look, man, shout out to her doing her thing. Hey, we was looking for gold, but hey, look, baby, as long as you shining with that medal, we appreciate it and we loving it. You know what I mean? So shout out to her doing her thing now. I know the woman who won, it was from, I think, St. Lucia. My bad, I'm mispronouncing or something like that. And that was like their first Olympic medal period. And you know what I mean? They coming in winning gold. So shout out her doing that. I also seen this another woman from, I want to say Dominica. I think her name's Thea. I'm not sure what her last name is, but she like won like the first medal, I think, for her country. And again, that's another person getting gold. Her shit was in a triple jump. So, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of dope shit happening. And Noah Lyles won Guy America that gold in the 100-meter race and like a super dope zoom in, focus out, fix the camera, photo finish type of joint. But, yeah, I mean, America went gold. They say it's been a minute since we went gold in that event. And I know also the last thing that's hit my mind is Shelly Ann Frazier, who, I ain't gonna lie, man. I remember when Shawty like first won that gold medal, umpteen years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, who is this fine Jamaican woman crossing this line? I mean, obviously she married, you know what I mean? So shout out to her, you know what I mean? Like Shelly Ann Frazier, she had, I think it was just Shelly Ann, Frazier Price, whatever. But I know it was just Shelly Ann Frazier at the time when she won. I was like, oh, look at you. She might have been engaged or whatever, moving with Brody. But since then, she's been hyphenated doing her thing with her husband. So hopefully they having a beautiful marriage and all those things going on. But when I seen it, I was like, man, look at this beautiful woman. And I know we kind of had the thing. Something happened. I think she got injured, but it was a whole lot of like noise around like what happened with her as to whether or not she had... Unless like they was like blocking it, not letting her in. I did see a video with her talking about it, but I think the end result was that she actually did get in. She got some warm-ups and she got an injury, and that's the reason that she ended up not racing. So, shout out to her. That would have been, that was her 5th Olympics. So, you know what I mean? To get to the Olympics 5 times is mad crazy. So, shout out all that. I feel like I'm gonna wrap up Olympics with that right there. I'm gonna let y'all know. I forgot last month to tell y'all beforehand, and I told y'all I'd tell you this month. I am going to volunteer at the Houston Food Bank on August 10th. And if you would like to join me, you are more than welcome to. Be sure that you sign up early enough. Sometimes those spots do fill up. I don't know it's volunteering, but hey, they can only have so many people in the space to make sure people monitor at the time. So if you want to pull up, make sure you go and do that. It's Houston Food Bank, and just go through the volunteering, just do your little sign up and everything. I sign up for the 8 to 10 a.m. Not 8 to 10, 8 to noon, so 8 to 12. On Saturday, so if you want to pull up, you know what I mean, I'm gonna be doing my thing. I be trying to get it in when I go there, so I'm gonna get me a sweat in. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure I get my little sweat, do my little thing, because I pull up. I could be at the crib, because I know sometimes they be like, oh, you trying to get in there? Hey, look, man, I could have been at the crib. I'm not volunteering here, a part of no job. I'm volunteering because I want to like help out. So I'm trying to help out, get it in. Hey, I go to the crib, feeling accomplished, get my little sweat in, and do whatever I need to do. So if you want to pull up with me, see me this Saturday. August 10th, again, I don't see me there, beat me there, because I'll probably be a little bit late. I don't know. Time be hard, man. Time is hard. And the last thing I'm going to mention on this temperature check, I'm doing I know I posted on my personal, like my Instagram or whatever. Hey, look, man, I'm taking like a little bit of a mental break for myself this week, and really, for me, what that means is just kind of like minimizing the mental stress that I'm putting on myself, or allowing it to come outside. Like, I ain't trying to stress myself, and I ain't really trying to let other people stress me. And I know when I say that, like, some people can take it like, oh, damn, you don't want nobody to talk to you about shit. Like, hey, look, man, if you got something going on, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be your friend. I still can talk to you about shit. But for me, it's more knowing there's a point in time between that conversation where it's like, all right, this may start feeling like too much for me right now. And I know I'm not all the way there for myself, to where it's like, hey, I'm sorry that you're going through this. I want to be there for you. But the extent that we're going to, this is past the limit that I can be there for you right now. And it's just like, hey, look, that's just capacity I have right now. And for myself, you just got to know what your capacity is. And honestly, I feel like even for other people, like, I want to put that out there. A reason I'm talking about it, other than obviously, you know what I mean, I try to always keep it 100 with y'all. Just letting y'all know, hey, look, this is what you got going on. And sometimes it's good and it's important to take that mental break for yourself. Just check in, know how you doing, what you got going on. Because it's all right if you ain't just doing great sometimes. Fuck it. That's how life be going. But Make sure you know it. You checked in. You doing what you can do to get better with it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. One, I'm recording this episode a little bit later in the week than I'm supposed to. But hey, it is what it is. This should come out on time. But so I'm recording this on Monday, drop on Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday are my general workout days. So, you know what I mean? I done already got it in twice this week, but I guarantee you, if I didn't have this app that was showing me like how many weeks, I think I'm at like 73 or 76, something like that, between 73 and 76. I done lost count. I just see it when it pop up every week on Sunday. But how many straight weeks I done had of like getting it in at the gym, if it was not for that app showing me that streak, I guarantee you I would not be working out this week. Because in part of my mental breaks, like usually if I do something like that, I for sure, hey, look, man, give yourself that time off, relax, chill. But it's something about not wanting to break that little stupid ass thing got me going in. I supposed to have been taking it lighter in the gym than I did the past 2 days, but it also felt good, so I ain't too mad at it. It's like, you know what I mean? Understand it as long as it ain't putting too much stress on me. I ain't trying to injure myself or do anything, push myself to where I'm feeling crazy. Because shit, yesterday, after I worked out at the gym, did my little shit, then I went on a nice little walk. That shit was beautiful. Got to do my little shit. You know what I mean? I'm the type of nigga, you see me walking, and I'm listening to my music, bitch, I might start dancing on your ass like, because I'm out here to have fun for my damn self. You can feel how you feel. I ain't walking for you. I'm walking for me. I don't know how y'all feel. You know how sometimes folks like, why the person doing extra? Bitch, I'm doing extra because it feel extra inside of me. I'm there, this little light of mine, bitch. I'm going to let it shine, bitch. You feel me? And so that's what it was. So, yeah. I feel like I might at some point in time, mental break, when I even was mentioning the fact that I was intending to do it, it felt like something that really could be an episode in itself. And I was thinking about if I should make this episode about that. But then I was like, nah, I'm taking a mental break. Let me make sure I give myself the space in the room to not be trying to focus on that shit this week. So, nah, I'm gonna not do that. We're going to go to a topic that I feel like I can do a little bit smooth and more comfortable. I might follow up on a mental break, the importance of a mental break sometime for yourself later on. But, yeah. So that's the temperature check. Hope y'all liked it. Hope it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. You know what I mean? We chilling at a cool. In my house, I generally I chill about a good 72. I'm a good 72 type of person. I don't know about y'all. I don't know what y'all houses be at. I done recently started realizing some people ain't got no sense, respectfully, and their houses be at temperatures like 77, chilling and shit. What the fuck? I stay alone, so I can have my, like, you know what I mean? As long as I get my house cool overnight, I'll turn the air off in the morning just to, like, let it go up a little bit, let fans blow. But I have never been at a I think 74 is the highest I can be comfortable with. 75, oh my gosh, I just stopped breathing. Some people just be chilling at crazy at times. I know, I done been to somebody's house. Motherfucker got there one time, house was at 79. 70 fucking 9. That's almost 80 degrees inside of your home. And they was like, shit, it's comfortable, it's chilling, it's cool or whatever. I'm like, the fuck wrong with you? But to each their own, you know what I mean? I'm talking my shit, but hey, look, man, have y'all house comfortable how the fuck you like it. Well, it might be cold to me, might be hot to you, might be whatever to whatever. Man, make your shit comfortable. But if I pull up to your house, I'm gonna complain, because shit, I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to breathe with a V in that bitch. So on that note, I don't even know why I got it. The temperature check over. I don't even know what the fuck, man. Welcome to the fucking house. Welcome to the StoryHouse show. I don't even know where I'm at, but I know I'm welcoming y'all motherfuckers in here. Y'all in here with me. You know what I mean? Y'all already know what the fuck we doing. It's the StoryHouse show. It's the StoryHouse podcast. You're rocking with your boy Ayo. If you pulled up, you already know what's up. And if you didn't know what's up, you finna find out what's up. Bitch, we popping in here. We talking real shit. It's all love in this house right here. You know what I mean? Come in, take your shoes off at the door. I don't really be like motherfuckers tracking too much dirt up in here. Hopefully your feet ain't looking crusty. Hopefully you got some socks on when you come into my house. If you don't be just putting your shit all up in the place. If your feet looking ugly, I'm sorry. Put your shoes back on. I don't want to look at that. You know what I mean? Get your little water, get your little whatever you need to. You know what I mean? We finna get right. We finna do our thing. So what it is, man, you in here, your family, you a guest the first time. Hey, but y'all done been here. If y'all rocking with me, you done been in this house before. Man, y'all already know we family. It's all love, man. Act fucking right. It's a StoryHouse show. I haven't done this in a while because I really don't want to do it too often if I really ain't got nothing. Quick little shout out, like put y'all on saying. It's it ain't like a brand new brand, but it's something folks I fuck with. I'm wearing a God is Dope shirt. And shit, God is Dope is a dope ass brand to me. They always have cool ass shit. This dope ass shirt. So right here, I'm rocking this one right here. What this one say? playing in my face knowing I'm God's favorite is crazy. You know what I mean? And that's just real talk. You know what I mean? I'm God's favorite. I shit. And you God's favorite too. Because don't take it like a way. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, God have favor on all us. You decide how much your light shining. And for me, my light shine is stupid. So make sure your light shine and don't come playing in my face. Because you play with me, I'm going to show you what playing with somebody look like. But we ain't making no threats and no shit like that. That's all I love about you. So on that note, we gonna keep it moving, but shout out God is dope. If y'all want to take a look at it, man, take a look. I want to say I hate if I'm finna be wrong, but I feel like it's an Atlanta-based company. At least like when I look at stuff, it be seen with like they kind of vibe or whatever. And it's a black woman-owned company. I feel more confident in that because most of the posts be definitely like black women in it. But you know what I mean, shout out God is dope. On that note, I've been talking for a little minute. It's been a way longer intro to the podcast than it normally is. We finna get right to the shit. We finna get right into the vent. Y'all already know. Welcome with me. Let's do this thing. So let's go ahead and intro this topic for today. We're talking about knowing when not to speak. Sometimes you gotta know when not to talk. All the time, like I know everybody always want to talk. Everybody got so many opinions. We're in the social media age. Everybody got something to say. I'm on a fucking podcast right now talking to y'all. But that's what the fuck I can do. Ain't nobody here but me and me. If it was somebody else, I had my times where I could be more quiet, listen to somebody. But I can't. So you here, and I'm going to talk. But there are also so many times in life when you just got to learn, hey, right now is not the best time to talk. And so we're going to have a conversation talking about that. So let's get into it. So like I said, oftentimes we feel like now is always the best time to talk. And I want to like kind of dive into that kind of premise and that belief, like feeling like, oh, I should always talk. If I got something to say, I should say it right now. And I do feel like there are times when that's the case, but it's important to realize the times when it's not. Cause just because you have a thought doesn't mean you should share that thought. Like there's times where, hey, look, I had this thought. Hold on, pump your brakes a little bit. Should you share this thought? I feel like more people more often should have a realization. Just because I had the thought, should I share the thought? Have a reflection on that. And kind of going into the topic a little bit deeper. I feel like oftentimes we are told the importance of speaking up, and I feel like that's sometimes why people often feel like, oh, I gotta speak up because some people just haven't been heard in their life, so it's like, fuck it, I ain't been heard, so now I'm finna for show talk. Some people just done been overly heard, so they just talk too goddamn much and ain't never been told when to shut up. And I feel like sometimes we aren't told the importance of not speaking, and I feel like that's really, really fucking a really important nugget, like the importance of not speaking. And it's not like shutting I can phrase it like it's shutting up or something like that, but it's not really shutting up. It's just like knowing and choosing when not to speak and understand the golden importance of that. And I say that way because I know some people are taught to a fault not to speak, and that's not really what I'm talking about. And I say that because I know some folks, like, you got your kids and it was ever like, oh, stay in a child's space, you never speaking. And it's like, that's cool, but that child got to grow up. So at some point in time, that child's place does need to be where they get to vocalize themselves and express themselves. So it's important to not raise somebody like, oh, you should never be talking. You should never be talking. Then you're raising a person who doesn't really know when to and when not to speak. So I feel like that's a very important part right there. And I mean, if you watched my shit last week, you already know I don't believe in talking to kids like adults, but I do believe in the importance of respecting the fact this child is not an idiot. If you raising them right, they should not be an idiot. So there should be a level of respect that you have for them because you're trying to raise an individual, you're trying to raise a human who will become grown one day. I may not speak to you as an adult, but I will speak to you as a human being that I respect. And for also to the point of the case of like talking about like raising somebody not to speak and like that to a fault thing, like for me the thing is understand there's a big difference between speaking out of not speaking out of fear, shame, or obedience compared to not speaking out of respect, processing, and clarity. Because the thing is, when people have that to a fault kind of thing, it's like you're more afraid to speak. You're more ashamed to speak out, like the embarrassment kind of thing. Or it's just like, oh, I'm just listening to somebody, but I'm not having my own thoughts on why not to do this. But if it's like, oh, someone's speaking, so I'm respecting what this person has to say, I'm processing what this person is saying, or if I'm looking for clarity on myself before speaking, to me, those are the things that you want to be aiming more towards. So make sure you look at yourself and figure out where you balancing out on it. Is it fear, shame, or obedience, or is it respect, processing, or clarity? You know what I mean? Take the time to think through those. Yeah. So we're gonna start this off. This one I set up pretty simple. Hopefully I don't talk too long and crazy, but if y'all already know how I be talking, I be fucking talking for a minute, so this bitch might run long. So we're gonna start with talking about now. when is it the time that you should speak now? Because even when we get into this case of understanding not to speak, it's important to start off with understanding there's a time when you should speak right now. And with that, I feel like it's the reasons as to why I feel like you should speak now. A big reason is one, something has a deadline. If it's a deadline and things need to happen right then, you need to speak up right then and there because that deadline is important. Not speaking will cause problems based on the deadline you may have. Like if you're at a work meeting or something and you like scared to speak up, hey, look, if you don't speak up and shit coming up, ain't nobody gonna get a chance to factor it in. And that kind of go into my second one. If things go down a path, it's hard to redirect. So sometimes it's important to speak right now because if you do not say something right now, if you wait till later to say something, it will be so hard to course correct at that point in time. So situations as to where, like, let's say like you see a child and they're doing something in their youth and you're trying to wait to when to respond to them. You wait for a child to become 4 or 5 years later or something. Like if a child's 12 and you wait till them they're 17 to say something, it's a whole lot harder to redirect that child at 17 than it is at 12. So at that point in time, just understand that that's a time when, hey, it's better to speak earlier on because you can speak later, but it's hard to redirect. And the last one I have on here is just basically if something is urgent or it's an emergency. Like if the emergencies happen, like, hey, don't be the quiet person. If you see something happen, like, oh my gosh, y'all should run away. Nah, but hey, nigga, move. They running for you. Move, run, nigga. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's you kind of got to hit that shit right now. You got to yell at a motherfucker. Like, I know, like, for me, if anytime an emergency happening, like, oh, yeah, I'm finna hit you with a strong-ass voice because ain't nobody got time to be playing around, figuring shit out, being timid. Nah, nigga, save lives right now. If you offended by my yelling, fuck it. I'd rather you be alive and offended than, and happy and feeling all happy-go-lucky, whatever the fucking words. I can't think of what the opposite would be, but dead. You know what I mean? So understand there's times of when you want to speak right now, and those are important times to speak up because the urgency, the deadline, or the case of having to have things redirect are really important reasons to speak right now. But even when you do choose to speak up and speak right now, it is still important to process and make sure you're processing what you're saying before you speak. Because you may have a case of, oh, I need to say something right now, but it still don't mean speaking ignorant or just speaking wild and crazy. You still need to make sure you're doing your due diligence to have a thought out response. And usually when speaking now, even if it's not some of them situations, just on a base level part, hey, you want to speak now when all parties involved can speak with knowledge. Because if you're knowledgeable about a subject, yeah, hey man, that's probably a good time to talk about something. Because you got something to say and you have understanding. So it might not be all the urgent situations as to where it got to be now, but hey, you have enough knowledge. Let's have a conversation about it. And also when all parties involved are at an emotional or just at a general state to where, hey, we can have this conversation reasonably. We can actually get to somewhere with it. And those are the reasons why I feel like you should speak now. Now, with that said, we finna get into the main shit of what we're talking about for today. And it's gonna be knowing, basically, when not to speak, like I told you. So this is gonna be the part of when you should speak later. Now, when it comes to speaking later, I feel like it's a lot of big reasons to me. Like, it's a lot of reasons as to when, hey, look, right now is not the time to speak. And I'm gonna start off with what I feel like is the most common, the biggest reason. That's why I feel like, hey, right now may not be the best time for somebody to speak, and it's emotions. Because emotions will have such a huge effect on how you communicate that if they're not in a good state, it's just the conversation is going to be potentially derailed, or it's going to heavily be affected by the emotion that you have going on. So when emotions aren't properly controlled, the communication is going to suffer. So just understand it's hard. It's shit. Just as a real thing, like it's hard to have logical fucking thoughts when your emotions are flaring. So that's whether it's good or bad. Like if your emotions are doing a whole lot of shit, it's hard to like really be processing and thinking things fluidly and clearly when you have those things going on. So making sure you're having a check and awareness of how your emotions are going on. And examples of like what happened when you haven't properly managed your emotions. You may not be able to articulate yourself. Like when your emotions flaring, you might be more prone to stuttering. You can't get out what you want to say. Your processing of what you want to actually get out, it may be within you to articulate the words, but your emotions are causing a block between your actual calm brain cells to process what you want to get out. So understanding that's just a big thing that's going to happen when your emotions are doing too much. And shit, one, also just listening to somebody, like before you get a chance to speak out, your emotions can affect the way you listen and take in what somebody has going on. So being aware of how you emotionally feel, one of the reasons why you may not should speak is because your emotions may not even allow you to have a good response back or have something good to say that you even would agree later on with, because of how much your emotions can be doing something. So that's another reason as to why being aware of your emotions, as far as not knowing when not to speak and when to speak later. And the last thing is just like emotions can just alter and cause you to lose focus. Like when you have emotions going on, shit, you don't know what to say, you don't know what to think. They kind of really go up to the other two beforehand, articulating yourself and listening properly. Like shit is just hard to say, and it's just hard to stay even in what's going on within the conversation, because your emotions can have you snapping on to anything. Like I feel like when you're emotional in a response, somebody can say something to you and you may have a point, but you're jumping onto every other little point, and you're moving every which way because your emotions are driving you. And instead of being in the car, you can drive with a cruise, and you know what I mean? Cruise, you can't move at cruising altitude because your emotions jumping around. Them motherfucker switching lanes when you could be on a goddamn top drop motherfucking type of movement. But you know what I mean? You in the goddamn NASCAR shit doing too much. So just give yourself the space to really just process when your emotions may be going. And I really feel like that's the biggest thing, like giving yourself the space, because that's how I view when you have emotions going on. I know for my damn self, sometimes I do struggle. I don't get too, like I said, I'm not the most emotional person. I got my emotions. Shit, I'm taking a mental week right now. But in general, like my emotions don't get the best of me during conversations, but they do at times. And I know sometimes for me, like if I'm getting in a conversation, hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't say I get quick to jump out of a conversation, but I usually, if I find myself like having too much engagement, too much of my emotions, and it's getting to this kind of jumped up point, I'm more of a case of, hey, let me pull the fuck back, because I didn't notice that my emotions doing too much. Or even shit, sometimes noticing somebody else's emotions doing too much to where, hey, look, this conversation ain't really finna get where we want it to go. Or shit, sometimes I'm just saying, fuck it. But just being aware of how much emotions I'm playing into it to where, hey, it's the time to take a step back right now from this conversation. I don't need to say anything. Maybe you can choose to say something, because I can't control what somebody else do. But I can choose not to say anything at that point in time, because I know what my emotions doing, or what I've noticed from their emotions as to whether or not this conversation feels like it has the potential to yield fruit right now. Because again, remember I said knowing when not to speak now, we're on the case of later, so that means you're still speaking, just not right now. And another thing beyond the emotions part, processing is another reason to talk later. And that's because shit, like I said, sometimes when you're in the middle of a conversation and you have something to say, you really haven't given it the time to process. And some shit takes a longer time to process. So sometimes when you give time to process a situation, you can give a better response. Like when I can get the time to hear what somebody has to say, think about it again and shit, maybe think about it one more time, or even have something else that I can process or view or be exposed to give me the opportunity to view things differently. That added time of delaying my response can give me that time to process instead of like just instantly responding back. And that processing can really change how a conversation can go sometimes. Like you might can cause a problem because you instantly responded, but if you gave it a bit more delay, whether it's talking later or a minute or two later, it can be a huge difference. And going on the minute or two part is like shit, sometimes you may need more information before speaking. Actually, I'm my bad. I'm talking on another point. But so just number 2 on that one. Another 2 example of the processing is you just may need more information before speaking. As like I said, you can go out, see something, like somebody that said something with you, you done had a conversation. Shit, you may have a different conversation with somebody else before you give a response to the first person, because now I've been exposed to more information. I can process and view things and see things a little bit more clearly than how I had it initially. So you know what I mean? Just giving yourself that space to process. And shit, later can just be holding your later can just be holding your tongue during the conversation, because it don't have to always be, we're gonna talk days later. Like I said, it can be a minute later. Like I said last week, if you don't talk sometimes and just listen a little bit longer, your statement might become moot. And just like last week, I do not feel as comfortable saying it, but I'm staying on that. Nigga said moot. The point is moot. You know what I mean? but the word just don't sound right. Like moot coming out my mouth sound like it should be mute, even though I know mute ain't the word I want to say. And I can't believe I'm actually having another goddamn rant about the same shit that I said last week. But it's just like, yeah, man, whatever. I gotta stop tripping. My bad, y'all. So yeah, understanding that if you just listen a little bit longer, your statement might become moot. So with that, it's like if you wait sometimes, things will play out and it might not require you to speak. So if somebody's saying something to you and you like, oh, you got a question, but that early on in that speaking, shit, sometimes if you just let them speak a little bit longer, the next sentence that was gonna come out their mouth answers your question. Or sometimes if you saying something back to somebody, like that's the point in time where your question would have become moot. But if you're saying something to somebody and they having different things and you wait a little bit longer before jumping to a conclusion or something, that person may say something or they may reveal something to you. Like honestly, like you was trying to say about something, you had a response already, but instead of having to ask the question or speak about something, the way that they talking or whatever's going on can reveal to you what's going on, and you don't even got to jump to it. It's you like, oh yeah, you know, this in a different kind of way without directly answering the question you might have had. It might get revealed to you in a different kind of way to where it's like, okay, yeah, I bet. I'm happy I didn't say nothing because if I would have said something, we would have went down a different path and I never would have even got this answer. So, you know what I mean, just knowing sometimes, hey, is this the right time to say it? And really with a lot of this shit, discernment is going to be the difference between a lot of this shit. Being able to discern your emotions, being able to discern processing, all this shit, discernment is going to be the biggest thing in shit. So you just got to work on it. You just got to work on knowing what kind of discernment, because shit, sometimes you're going to be wrong. We all going to be wrong sometimes, but just having a better level of the shit. You see what I got here? Oh, with later, a thing is later is not avoiding, it's deferring. I do want to say that as important and very important part. Choosing to speak later is not avoiding the situation, it is deferring it. Because if you are not speaking right now just because you're scared and you want to avoid the shit, that is not what the fuck I'm talking about. You are just scared of a conversation, you scared to say something, you scared to speak up, and that ain't what the fuck we talking about at all. We're talking about being aware that for what we have going on or whatever the situation is, this may not be the best time to speak up. And so I'm deferring it. It will be spoken about. It shall be spoken about. This conversation, whatever needs to happen, shall be had, but it's deferred. So, like I said, when you upset and you decide not to have a conversation, like if I'm upset with somebody and I know my emotions doing too much, I decide not to have a conversation. It's like, all right, bet. Hey, look, right now, I can't talk to you right now. But I will talk to you later. We're going to talk later. We're going to follow up on this shit. But right now, I ain't in the space to talk about this. Give me like a little bit of time to with my emotions straight. That's deferring the conversation. And with it, a big shit is, like with deferring the conversation, you gotta understand that sometimes that means you're choosing to face a bad situation during a good time. And for a lot of people, that shit is really fucking hard. Like, to choose to face a bad situation when it ain't bad, because like if you're having an argument, because we're gonna just let's say focus into like an argument kind of point. If you're having an argument, shit, it's easy to keep talking about the bad shit because it's an argument, we got a problem, it's a bad situation, so fuck it, let's talk about the bad shit. But right now, during the time when you're having an argument, you might be in an emotional state, so you're in a state where you can't, neither one of y'all processing, neither one of y'all thinking, neither one of y'all listening. Hey, that might not be the best time, so hey, let's defer this conversation. But the thing is, at that bad time, it felt real easy to talk about the bad shit. But with understanding the case of when to speak later, you might struggle with the case of, am I gonna ruin a good time by bringing up this bad shit? But the thing is, if you don't talk about the shit, you ain't gonna fix the shit. So understanding right then, it may be a good time, but that's the best time to, I feel, to address it if you're able to be mature and process what's going on. Because the problem is there regardless. It's just a more optimal time to fix it. Because regardless of whatever the hell you're going on, if y'all had an argument about something, the argument's still gonna be there. If this is someone you want to continue to have within your life, or you out having your life, it may not be the best time when the argument happened, but you still had a problem that you want to fix potentially. And so an example that I kind of like build on is shit. Matter of fact, a building, like a building destroyed in a storm, it needs to be rebuilt. Like regardless of whatever the fuck going on, that building needs to be rebuilt. But that doesn't mean the best time to rebuild that building is while the storm's still going on. Like, of course, you might want to put some type of shelter or tent or whatever covering over you, depending upon whatever situation. But you might want to still have some covering. But to actually fully rebuild that building and make it a sturdy building, rebuilt again, the best time to build that is not during that storm. And I'm pretty sure y'all you can clearly understand that. But even though you're not rebuilding it during the storm, during a clear day, that's when you might be like, all right, shit, bet. Now it's time to do the work to rebuild this building. And the thing is with that situation, understanding the building is the problem. Having to rebuild a building is the problem, because without having a bad situation, you never had to, the building was good in the beginning. So the problem was only arose because of the storm. But shit, hey, let's hold on. Let's wait out through the storm, and then we can talk about and figure out how the fuck we gonna rebuild this building. And that's the thing that I feel like you should do sometimes with conversation. Understand that, hey, right now, hey, we can't build this building right now in the state that we in. We're in a storm right now. Let's hold on a second. All right, it's a clear day. Hey, babe. And I say it, babe, because I feel like this is more a relationship type shit. But it could be anybody in your life. It could be like a family member, it could be a parent or whatever. But it's like, hey, look, all right, right now, I'm cool. You cool? You good? I bet. I know this ain't the best time and shit cool, but I kind of want to talk about what we had going on beforehand, because it was seeming like a problem, and I feel like we both in a kind of state right now, so we can talk about it, and like I can hear you out, you can hear me out, and at that point in time, then you can get to the best case of building. You can build your best shit during the good times with a clear mind. I only got a few more on the later part. Negative feedback is is a great thing to defer as well. So like on the like I said, staying on the deferment thing, negative feedback. And this one came to my mind because I saw a TikTok. I don't know, like it was like a few weeks back or whatever it was, but I seen a TikTok and the dude was on there. He was talking about like how he had a friend who had some type of performance, and his personal thought of the performance was that it was bad. It was like, oh, this wasn't a good performance. But, you know what I mean, at that time, they understood that it was a performance that they felt like it was bad, but the person that they came for was excited about it. So you had your person come to you like, oh my gosh, I just did myself. What did you think of the performance? At that point in time, in your mind, an honest thing, because like I told y'all, I don't know how many weeks ago it was, but fake it till you make it. I don't believe in being fake. I don't believe you got to lie to somebody. So you don't got to tell somebody like, oh my gosh, I loved it. It was amazing the way I did it. Y'all killed it. Nah, bro was like, hey, look. He chose to respond honestly, but reserve what he said. So he was like, he told him like how happy he was for them. Cause like, I don't gotta like what you did, but I can still be happy for you. So yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy. I saw that you really enjoyed yourself. Like you were excited. I seen your excitement during it. Like giving real responses. It's like, hey, I seen what you had going on. What I'm telling you is the things that I liked, or the situation, the things about the situation that I enjoyed that was honest. I'm giving this positivity to the situation right now. Cause that's where we at right now. You hella excited. Because he understood like right now that person is too hyped up to like really take in negative feedback in any kind of constructive way. So he had that bet, told him how much he enjoyed it. Later on, he followed up and was like, hey, look, then he had the feedback. Hey, I really ain't like, maybe, I don't know if it was like how they performed or whatever, or the show in general, or whatever it was. But then later on, like maybe days later or a week later, whatever it was, they had the conversation to have a follow up of like, hey, I wasn't the biggest fan of this part. But it's like in that moment, that person was too hyped up to really get to have any, to just really process that kind of negative feedback at that point in time. But when they're a little bit more calm, and when they also have seen that you responded well in the beginning, and be like, all right, now I can take in a little bit more what you got to say to me about okay, I can see what you didn't like about that. All right, maybe we can have a conversation. They may be irrational, well, I ain't gonna say irrational, but they may not take constructive criticism well, so they might not take it well. But you're in a better state when you're telling that person afterwards, not in the moment of every time. And that's like a big reason why I say understanding. Hey, right now wasn't the time to say that. There's still something to say. You deferred it to talk about it later. So just understand all times aren't the best time for negative feedback. Oh, goddamn. All right, what we got next? So we done talked about when you should talk about things right now. We done talked about when you should talk about things later. We're going to kind of wrap it up with when you should talk about things never. Because the thing is, some conversations, there are points in time when you should, you can kind of process and realize this isn't a conversation I ever want to have or I ever need to have. And that's just as important as a lot of the other things. Now, like I say, later is going to be the most common thing, I feel like, as far as processing, understanding when you need to talk later. But shit, sometimes a conversation or let's say a subject or a situation, maybe it's a dead situation or it's a dead subject. At those point in time, understanding, hey, look, I don't need to ever talk about this. We don't need to ever go into this. And with that, that's like when you can kind of like, for me, like let's say like politics sometimes. This is a point in time, like don't get me wrong, yes, you have politics, people go back and forth, have conversations, but I feel like there are moments when you can have a conversation with somebody and understand, hey, look, for you right now, me and you, we can still engage out on other shit. But as far as this subject and this topic, me and you can't talk about this. I don't want to engage with you on this because I don't like how you respond to me. I don't like how I respond to you. Whatever the reason why, just understanding the way that this topic goes, we do not yield any fruit from talking about having this conversation. So it's just best for us that we don't talk about this. Still respect to you, you know what I mean? You can still have respect for somebody, but just understanding, hey, this conversation isn't the best thing for us to talk about. And just being able to step away, walk away from something is like, hey, we still all good. We just ain't talking about that. And I feel like that's a really important thing to have. And that's when you talking with somebody about a subject or that, you know, like your feelings. But shit, sometimes the situation that you need to walk away is the person. So like if it's you got a situation or you done dealt with somebody and you've experienced them enough to where you can like peep, yeah, you know, the way you move, I don't want to fuck with you. So like this is a dead situation. We don't need to have a deep, detailed conversation. I don't need to speak every little bit about why I don't fuck with you. But I've experienced enough. Hey, we can't rock with each other. Or just understand, like, sometimes the discussion, one, don't fix shit. Because sometimes you can talk to somebody and everybody can explain everything. The discussion ain't gonna fix the decision that's made. If you done made a firm, final decision, sometimes you can. I feel like it's respectful. So if you with someone decently engaged, to let them know, hey, look, I'm taking a step back, but I don't need to have a full documented conversation as to why I need to take a step back. Because I've peeped enough, and hey, we might not need to have this conversation. Now, this is not to say every time those things happen that you shouldn't have an engagement or to never speak about it. But there's a point in time where we can decide, yeah, it's something I got to say or something that I think in my brain. I'm good with never saying this. I'm good with never having this go on, never engaging beyond this. And during those times, I just feel like once you didn't process enough, you'll know what to do. Like I feel like you know when to not have a conversation and when, hey, look, yeah, this we just ain't here with this. And that's okay. And that's more, like I said, for dead situation. This isn't for like a conversation with somebody you intend to engage with continuously. And it's a topic that really means a lot to you that you have to have with this person. It's more of a conversation. I don't got to talk to you about this shit ever, and I'm good with that. If you okay with never talking to somebody about something, like, hey, you know what? I don't even give a fuck if we on the same page. Man, shit, don't make it something. I'm okay with never being involved with you or never going or shit, you know, going to a place or some shit. Like, you might got a city you never care to talk about. Fuck it, don't ever go there. But just knowing when something becomes a never point for you. Shit. So, wrapping this thing up. What I had on this motherfucker. Hold on. Man, my bad. I be always having a point in time when I just be having blank F for y'all, man. My bad about that shit. But understand, and this is just kind of more wrapping up, like every situation is specific to the people involved. So like I said, well, I don't know if I said it, but sometimes what might be a now conversation for somebody might be a later conversation for others, might be a never conversation for somebody else. So understanding your situations, your specific situation is always going to decide which one it is for you, whether it's a now, later, or never conversation. So make sure, or to speak up, because shit, even within the conversation, you can still converse with somebody without while understanding, hey, this specific thing may not be said, this specific topic may not be broached at this time. So understanding that when you communicating, and don't get caught up comparing yourself to other people, because I feel like that's a big thing. Like, if you don't compare your situation to somebody else, you can understand, all right, is this situation for me the right time to talk about it? Because for somebody else, like I say, it might be their time, but it ain't your time. Or it might be your time and it ain't their time. And they waiting, but shit, you need to go forward right now. Hey, look, so just understanding when you do and do not need to speak up. And like I said, all this is about knowing when, like all this has been about knowing when to speak. Like, so it's about the person who's speaking, like knowing when you shouldn't speak. But it's also important to respect other people's decision on when they know for that, when they can realize for themselves not to speak. Like, obviously, they got to have the fortitude to, even if they decide not to speak and you trying to force them to speak, to be able to stand firm on not speaking. But try to do your best to respect for when somebody else is deciding, hey, this isn't the time for me to speak. And because everybody got to process situations in their own kind of way. And I feel like motherfucking this topic of like now, later, or never type of thing really could apply to a lot of things beyond speaking. It might be something I follow up on another time, going deeper to things beyond just speaking. But I feel like speaking overall, shit, I feel like we kind of like hit on the main points of it. And I feel like I'm kind of just saying some shit and rambling. So I feel like I'm a motherfucking finish this goddamn event right there. So that's the end of the event for today, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that shit right now. So you already know, after we got down to the event, we go ahead and do this little shit we call getting better, not bitter. And the thing that we do and we say, if you're getting better, not bitter, if you've been hearing and listening to a lot of shit, sometimes you might feel a certain kind of way. So I gotta say things a certain kind of way. And if you've been tapped in with me, hopefully you know what the fuck I'm finna say. Look, man, it's easier to say it than to do it, but sometimes you have to hear it to know you can do it. Oh yeah, fuck. I hate when I fuck it up. All right, let's say this shit one more time. It's easier to say it than to do it, but sometimes you have to hear it said to know you can do it. And since I fucked up the first time and I did it 2 times, I'm gonna hit y'all with a 3rd time just to let the motherfucking hit the road. It's easier to say it than to do it, but sometimes you have to hear it said to know you can do it. And so believe it, you know what I mean? With the case of like feeling like, oh shit, I don't know, I can't help myself. I gotta speak up. I gotta say everything all the time, every time right now. Hey, look, man. We all gotta grow from some fucking well, man. So that's where you at right now. Fuck it, that's where you at right now. But don't ever tell yourself that you can't get to the road to where like, all right, you know what, I can't have the restraint. Or shit, or even the big part, you might be the motherfucker who like scared to speak up and you don't know how to speak. So you might be the biggest part of this shit might have been the now part for you. When knowing when to speak up now, that might have been the biggest part. Even though the later shit was what I focused to, it don't fucking matter. Make sure you taking what you need to take. So if that was the most important part for you, or if the never part was the most important for you, or whatever the fuck part, all the shit I talked about, the Olympics, the mental break, whatever shit was the most important part for you, make sure you take away what the fuck you needed from all the shit I talked about. So, like I said, better not bitter. So like the thing that we're focusing on, like the how and why, how we do it. Hey, look, man, just pay attention to yourselves to know when you should or shouldn't speak. Like if you just paying attention to yourself, you can kind of get a better gauge, get a better discernment for knowing when you should and shouldn't speak. And also paying attention to others to know if we should say something to them. Like I told you with the negative feedback. Hey, right now ain't the time to say something. Oh, this person's emotional, or oh, this person isn't listening to me, or this person's mad at me, or whatever the reason why it may be. Understanding when you should or should not speak to somebody. And so the goal with that is just to like make the best decision on when to speak and when not to. That's just the biggest thing with all this. We aiming to be better and know when we should and should not speak. And so on that note, man, that's wrapping up this shit. So wrapping up this shit, I mean, we finna hit the goddamn road. Man, what I want to say, it's a StoryHouse show. So if you don't do anything, could you please, if you listening to this as audio, could you, or even if you watching the goddamn video, I still would appreciate it if you listen to audio podcast, subscribe to my shit on there, add my shit to where it get downloaded, man. Shit, just that background shit that help me the fuck out. But make sure you leave a review, man. 5 motherfucking stars, top star in this motherfucker. Just leaving a review, man. You got some words to say, just say beautiful shit about me and how great I talk about this shit that you fuck with. And if I cuss too much for you, I'm sorry. I wish I would do the extra work to do like a bleeped out version, but I cuss way too much to do this shit. So then I probably ain't your cup of tea anyway. If you think I cuss too much, I probably ain't your cup of tea anyway. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about that shit for. So yeah, man, y'all do that shit. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure you goddamn follow a nigga. You hear me? Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that motherfucking like button. Hit that motherfucking notifications button so you get all that shit for the StoryHouse show. You know what I mean? That's for YouTube and shit. But if you fuck with me on some other shit, man, follow the goddamn Instagram, the TikTok, I don't even know if I've ever tweeted a tweet on X. But that shit, or goddamn Facebook, all them shits is, I know I ain't did shit on Facebook. My Facebook literally just be the shit I post on Instagram. But make sure y'all goddamn follow it's StoryHouse.xo on all those platforms. Any social media, StoryHouse.xo, except for goddamn YouTube, where it's StoryHouse_XO. But man, look, y'all already know, man, it's love. So on that note, man, I ain't got too much more to say. I really want to get the fuck up out of here so I can get this goddamn episode out on time for y'all. So look, man, it's a StoryHouse show. Y'all already know. Y'all done rock with your boy. We've been kicking in this bitch. We've been talking a little bit. We've been quiet in this bitch. Y'all been quiet because I've been talking the whole goddamn time. Other than when I be having like them long ass pauses and shit. I'm gonna really work on doing this shit. I be thinking like, man, maybe I should cut this shit out. But then I was like, I don't feel like editing this shit out. These motherfuckers gonna be alright. They already fucking know. You done had conversations where niggas be thinking and shit. Like, goddamn, damn, what I'm gonna say? Damn, what I'm gonna say? Damn, what I'm gonna say? Oh shit, you waiting on me? So yeah, man, that's what the fuck it is, man. When you pull up in the house, you gonna get a real nigga talking real shit, man. I hope y'all listening to me being real niggas in this motherfucker. And even if you ain't a nigga, then you ain't a nigga. I ain't finna be the nigga that be like, oh, but you an honorary nigga. Nah, nigga, you ain't no nigga, you ain't no nigga. But it's cool though. You still can pull up to the house. You know what I mean? If you know how to cook and shit, you can still bring a motherfucking dish to the cookout. But look, I ain't gonna lie to you. If you bring some bullshit, we ain't gonna eat that shit. Cause shit, I don't give a fuck. Folks who be there, I ain't eating that shit. Like, I mean, you know, I hate when a motherfucker know they can't cook and be bringing food to the goddamn cookout. Bitch, don't nobody want that shit. Don't nobody. Now everybody gotta feel bad if folks gotta put your nasty ass shit on the plate. Don't nobody want your nasty ass food on the plate. And I mean, I done had times where I done made a bad decision. Y'all motherfuckers who ate my food know I can fucking cook. But you fucked up sometimes. You had a bad day. I remember my motherfucking auntie tried to cover me. Goddamn, shot up like the mac and cheese dry. Shot up, sorry. I fucking overcooked the bitch. You ain't gotta talk like that. You ain't even cooking that. Don't be talking to me crazy. I really be just needing to wrap this show up, but I struggle with it, obviously. So, yeah, man, like I said, y'all been in the motherfucking house. You been rocking with your boy. You been kicking with me. We've been talking our shit. We've been doing our shit. But right now, it's the time for y'all to get the fuck up out of here. So you already know what I tell y'all, man. It's all love. If you watching this episode on time, hey, look, man, go ahead. Go get the fuck out the house. Go figure out what the fuck you gonna do. I ain't trying to kick you out, but you got to get the fuck out. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I ain't kicking you out, but you got to get out. You know what I mean? So kick them feet and do what the fuck you got to do. If you watching this late, hold on. You ain't got to really leave the house. Just like revolving door type shit. Go ahead and go to that next episode. See the shit I'm talking about. Because, you know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. When I was talking that shit, though, I was talking that shit. And matter of fact, when you go check this shit out, you're going to be like, damn, that nigga was motherfucking talking. Told you. I said what I said. You feel me? So, yeah, man, like I say, it's all love, man. It's the StoryHouse show. It's your boy, Ayo. Y'all rock with me. It's all love. Y'all be easy. We out.
I've been going through some things, so much on my brain, just hoping it would change. I've been going through some things, so much on my brain, seem like all I feel is pain.